Is AI really the third major force in artificial intelligence? Grok 4.6 just arrived with impressive benchmarks and aggressive pricing, but the story being told around it includes much bigger claims, including that AI effectively had only two major players, that xAI acquired Cursor, and that this deal transformed Grok. So we checked the claims. On August 12, 2026, SpaceX AI published a straightforward post introducing Grok 4.6. It is not a brand new base model trained from scratch. The company says it builds on Grok 4.5 with a longer supplemental training run, then supervised fine-tuning and reinforcement learning. The focus is long-running agents, coding, knowledge work, and more ambitious interactive projects. Official specs that check out. A 500,000 token context window. Text and image in, text out. Live on the API, in Cursor, in Grok Build, and through partners, including OpenRouter, Vercel, and Cloudflare. Headline price, $2 per million input tokens, $6 per million output. There is a fast variant at twice that price. And there is a catch the marketing line often skips. Cross 200,000 prompt tokens and the entire request doubles to 4 and 12. That is the product. Now the story around it. For 2 years, a popular line has been that AI had only two main players, OpenAI and Anthropic. If main player means who currently leads some coding agent leaderboards, you can argue a narrow version of that. If it means the industry itself, frontier models, consumers, research, open weights, chips, revenue, the map is larger. Google DeepMind still ships Gemini into search, Android, and Workspace, and still does science-scale research. Meta still sets the open weight default for much of the world. DeepSeek still forces everyone to explain their prices. And xAI itself has been shipping models, clusters, and products on a public clock since late 2023. A two-name industry is a story. It is not a census. The follow-on line, that we now have exactly 3 major U.S. labs, and Google is somehow off the list, is an opinion wearing a scoreboard. Major lab needs a metric. Without one, it is branding. This is the claim that needed documents. xAI, as a standalone company, did not buy Cursor. SpaceX absorbed xAI in February 2026. In April, SpaceX locked an option. Buy Anysphere, the company behind Cursor, for about $60 billion, or pay around $10 billion for a partnership. On June 16th, days after the SpaceX IPO, SpaceX signed an all-stock merger. Close was targeted for the third quarter of 2026. As of this investigation, the honest legal line is signed, not independently confirmed as closed. Until close, Anysphere still owns Cursor on paper. The missing ingredient story goes further, that the deal dumped a mountain of coding data into Grok. What is documented? A joint training collaboration, Grok 4.6 inside Cursor at launch, and xAI's own description of high-quality engineering data and model-generated training traces. What is not documented? That Cursor customer codebases were transferred and used to train Grok 4.6. A commercial relationship is not a data processing agreement. We do not infer the second from the first. xAI published a comparison table. We treat it as first-party evidence, then check independent numbers. On the Artificial Analysis Intelligence Index, Grok 4.6 scores 61. That matches GPT 5.6 Sol at max effort and sits 1 point behind Claude Fable 5. Independent write-ups the next day repeat that 61. So the composite back at the frontier claim is real, and it is not first place. xAI's own table is more mixed than a victory lap. Grok wins some knowledge work and legal slices. Fable still leads Cursor Bench. Sol still leads DeepWE and Terminal Bench. A win on one eval is a win on one eval. It is not best model on Earth. 2 and 6 versus 5 and 30 on Sol is a genuine list price gap. Token price is not task price. A cheaper token that thinks longer can cost more than a pricey token that finishes in fewer steps. Independent cost per task numbers already show Grok 4.6 is not automatically the cheapest completed job. and the 200,000 token cliff means the last token of a prompt can reprice the first. The interesting story is still strong. Frontier adjacent quality at a discount if you stay in the cheap band and measure end-to-end. XAI says it used Grok 4.5 to regenerate supervised fine-tuning trajectories, then filtered bad traces with model checks, then ran more reinforcement learning. That is model-assisted data generation. Labs have been doing versions of this for years. It is not a model autonomously rewriting itself into a smarter species. Calling it recursive self-improvement borrows the language of an unsolved research program and pastes it on a standard post-training loop. Credit the engineering. Leave the mythology. Colossus is not a rumor. First cluster in 122 days, then doubled in 92 days to 200,000 GPUs. In May 2026, Reuters confirmed Anthropic access to Colossus 1. Bloomberg reported campus networking trouble, not unused warehouses. SpaceX is the landlord. Anthropic is the tenant. Give the model the credit it earned. Grok 4.6 is a documented upgrade, next to OpenAI on a major composite, cheaper per token than the closed models it is compared with. Musk says 4.7 is 3 to 4 weeks out. That is a prediction, not a result. The interesting story is strong enough without exaggerating it.